Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. I got an interesting one here for you guys. So let's dive right into it. There was a contract detail leak from the negotiations between Eric DeCosta and Lamar Jackson when they were first talking about a contract extension back in 2023. So there was a 61-page collusion case. Eric DaCosta testified during this case at the hearing, and he said negotiation difficulties were exacerbated. Mr. Jackson said that the microphone on his phone was not working, making communications with Mr. DaCosta difficult. Okay, I mean, things happen. What are the odds of that happening? It was during the off season, and we were all just kind of waiting for that uh, contract update or any contract update. Mind you, again, this is not information for current information for this contract negotiation. Rather, this was when we were all in frantic uh, pandemonium about the contract negotiations the first time between Eric DaCosta and Lamar Jackson. But moving anyway, Lamar Jackson texted Eric DaCosta he wanted a fully guaranteed contract, but he also knew that the Ravens would not give him a fully guaranteed contract, which he said was fine. Uh, the Ravens sent two different 3-year contract to him that they considered to be fully guaranteed, but Lamar rejected them both. Then he requested a trade, but did not provide Ravens with a list of teams he wanted to be traded to, and no team reached out to him. So EDC was preparing for the 2023 draft under the assumption that Mr. Jackson would no longer be playing for the Ravens. But on the eve of the draft, he sent Mr. Jackson a new contract, and much to Mr. DaCosta's surprise, Lamar Jackson accepted it. End quote. So this this is kind of like not mind blowing to me, but it's kind of like what I expected in the contract negotiation. Lamar Jackson wanted that Deshaun Watson $250 million guarantee money. Ravens could have done that, but would have had to sacrifice so much for the team that they would have had nothing left, and only Lamar Jackson would have been the player that they would have had on the team. But I think that this time around, the negotiations this time around will be a lot more fluid and a lot more, I won't say reasonable, but there will be a lot more, hands on the table type of negotiations where it's going to be a lot less, there's going to be a lot less tension in the contract negotiations this time around because Lamar went on to win two more MVPs or one more MVP, and Eric DaCosta knows his worth and how much he means to the Ravens. So Eric DaCosta knows that what stakes are with this next contract negotiation, but he also knows that Lamar can be somewhat flexible. So I think that this right here just says to me that they're both businessmen who don't like to budge, but until it's pushed comes to shove, they both know when to come together and come to an agreement that's fair for everyone. So interesting development on the last contract negotiation, but let's see what happens with this new one. Moving on, uh, this is a funny one for you guys. So Kyle Vanoi wants revenge against Aaron Rodgers. Backstory behind this: Kyle Vanoi has never sacked Aaron Rodgers. He had one time when Kyle Vanoi was playing for the Lions. Almost had Aaron Rodgers once, but then didn't get him. After the game, Aaron Rodgers tapped him on the butt as if to say "nice try," type of thing to him. And so KVN took that personally, and now he wants his revenge. Well, he's going to get it because the Ravens play the Steelers twice a year, one at home, one away. So Aaron Rodgers was just signed to the Steelers for a 1-year deal. He's probably his last in the NFL, thank God. So I think that Kyle Vanoi will be able to get that sack on Aaron Rodgers that he so desperately wants. Just a fun development there, and rooting for Kyle Vanoi to get his hands on Aaron Rodgers, man. Also, a different development here is that the Commanders and the Ravens have been having preliminary trade talks for Mark Andrews. Not really sure what type of preliminary talks this is like, or where it is in terms of development. I don't think this is going to happen, but it's just like out there, rumors circulating, where the Ravens would send over Mark Andrews because Zach Ertz is kind of getting up there in terms of playing ability. So having Mark Andrews on the Commanders would make sense in terms of for the Commanders, because then they could have another reliable threat for their quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And the Ravens wouldn't really be losing much anyway, except the chemistry that Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews have had. But look at Isaiah Likely. We have him, and him and Lamar have almost that same exact chemistry. But here's my beef with why this won't happen, because I don't think this is happening unless it's for something sweet, like a package or something like that. I'm not I've said that we should get a first for him, but at the same time, Mark Andrews is not as young as he used to be, but he still has a lot of playing years left. But I think getting a type of package for him, if this trade were to keep developing, should happen. So, mind you, Mark Andrews' cap hit is a lot next season. So by trading him, we get to relieve ourselves from that cap hit and be able to transfer that over to, or be able to use the money that we would have had to use on the cap hit to other players, and use it somewhere else where it is more needed. But again, I don't think this is happening. I think the Ravens are fully invested in Mark Andrews unless something comes up to the point where it is just too hard to ignore. So, again, I think Mark Andrews is going to stay a Raven this season, pending anything does come in that is just too bittersweet to not pick up the phone for. Also, moving on, Rashad Bateman spoke out about his relationship with Lamar and Zay on the Ravens podcast, The Lounge. And he was saying how Zay Flowers was one of the main reasons why he signed a contract extension with the Ravens, because Zay and Rashad Bateman are, 1-2 combo. Like, they push each other in practice, and Zay is always, rooting for him in games. And after having his career year, Zay was a huge part of that. And also Lamar, Rashad Bateman said there was a no-brainer there. He said that Lamar is the best quarterback in the NFL. He at least he thinks so. And he wanted to keep that chemistry going and keep that relationship going as well. And working under DeAndre Hopkins, we're learning from him, will definitely keep benefiting his own game even more. So this is great to hear from Rashad Bateman, saying that while he could have asked for more money and could have gotten more interest from other teams, he wanted to stay with the Ravens because he loved the players, and the organization. He loves Lamar Jackson. He loves Zay Flowers. Both of those guys always pushing him, and he wants to learn more from one of the best wide receivers in the league, DeAndre Hopkins. So it's just it's one of those things where he's just loyal to the team and not just loyal to the money. Always great to hear that from a player on the Ravens. Thank you for tuning into Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later. Have a good one.